And joining us now, the head coach of the number 11 ranked UCF women's tennis program. He is, of course, back-to-back American Conference champions, and, of course, back-to-back Sweet 16 appearances. Coach Bryan Koniecko joining us here on the show, back again with us. Coach, how you doing?
Good to see you guys again. Thanks for having me.
What is this fall, and now as you get set for the start of the season here in January, what has it been like? You've been playing, you lose three players, especially Rebecca Stolmar, who was certainly one of your leaders of the team, one of the greats in the program history, but you got a lot of talent coming back. How has it gone so far?
Yeah, obviously it was good to have a fall season where we got to play a lot of matches. Like you said, we had Rebecca Stolmar and Ksenia Kuznetsova and Sarah Culbertson, who we lost last year. Ksenia and Rebecca were big roles for us last season in the lineup. We're excited to have two new freshmen join us this January, Noelle Saydanova from Russia and Sophia Biolay from France. They were both supposed to be here in fall semester, but because of COVID and it took forever to get these visa appointments, and they finally were able, they were supposed to come in the fall. They finally were able to come here in January. So now we got our full squad. It's been good to put in 2 weeks of hard work, and hopefully we're prepared for tomorrow.
When you reflected back on last year, what comes to your mind? It was another incredible year. Really, it was an amazing year. I felt that casual fans started, really following your program and the men's program. It was pretty wild to see both of you, ranked, both get to host for the first time in program's history, to play at that beautiful USTA Center, winning the conference championship again, making the Sweet 16. What comes to your mind when you reflect on all that?
There were so many, our players continue to kind of have milestone moments in our program every year. And last year was another one, to be able to host the first two rounds of the NCAA the first times, and to do that with the men's team together. We've been kind of, both teams have been pushing each other to kind of get to these points. It seems like we've been getting to the same stages together. So that was exciting, obviously, to win the conference tournament after not being able to play it due to COVID. I think our players were excited to try to defend our title, and were able to do it in a tough fashion against Tulsa in the finals. And then to be able to advance to the Sweet 16 and to do it in the year that we were actually hosting the final site of the NCAA tournament, that was added pressure for our team, to knowing that the second round, they have to win it to play at home. Everyone wants to play at home so badly in front of our home crowd, and to see them overcome that pressure and to beat a great Miami team at home. And then, of course, that match against Duke was super memorable. Obviously, it came down to the final set. We lost 4-3 against a great team. As a coach, obviously, you wonder what I could have done better to get us through that. But it was such a fun atmosphere. Our fans made it amazing. We had a cool tailgate before that match. So a lot of memorable things to take away from last year.
It was, and I remember, so many fans were following the Duke match. So many people were following the American Conference Championship. I remember, weather and things like that kind of changed. People were mad because it was supposed to be on ESPN Plus, got moved and everything. But did you get a sense of that there was more eyeballs, that people that don't normally watch tennis or sport following your programs here? Both your programs. That to me, I felt like last year was a year that maybe it was a kind of a transcending year where more eyeballs. Now people are looking at your programs, and you're ranked, and there's going to be more eyeballs following you. There's more coverage of your program.
Yeah, obviously that's a huge goal of ours, and we're super appreciative of there's obviously the USTA. There's a huge tennis community in Orlando, not only UCF itself, but we just have a great tennis fan base. And it's been nice to stack a couple good years on top of good years, to kind of show that we're not trying to be a one-hit wonder. We're trying to be one of the elite programs in the country over a long period of time. And, we've been trying to recruit that way. Our players have been trying to prepare that way. We understand that last year was last year, and this year we have a whole new team, a whole new identity, and a new challenges in front of us that we're going to have to face. What we did in the past, but obviously that's our goal, is to get more and more people excited, trying to make our events a better experience for our players and our fans. And obviously everyone likes their home team to win. So that's what we're trying to do.
We talked about the USTA National Campus, and looking at your schedule, a lot of your home matches in that beautiful tennis facility are taking place over that about roughly a month between February 25th and March 27th. Can you talk about the schedule and how you kind of organize a lot of your home events into that 1 month span and the motivation behind doing that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's a good question. So in our conference currently, in the American Athletic Conference, we don't have a mandatory schedule. So we schedule a few teams in our conference, and then that leaves me a lot of room to schedule to try to give our team the best chance to play the best teams in the country. So it's a lot of work on our end to schedule a lot of matches because other coaches are busy and have their conference schedules, but we try to do around their spring breaks. That's why you'll kind of see it towards the end of February and March. Teams will come here on their spring breaks to try to get some outdoor tennis in. So we'll get to play them. But yeah, I mean, we have the defending national championships, national champions in Texas here at home amongst a lot of top probably 15, 20 programs that will be in this country. But, we obviously, to have a great ranking, you have to play the best teams and try to come up with some W's. And our team deserves to play against the best. So we're not going to try to shy away from some tough teams and pad our schedule. And we'll try to face them all. And hopefully, even through some wins and losses, that hopefully helps us grow as we go towards the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, you talk about facing the defending national champions in Texas. You're also going to have to go on the road a little later this month to take on number 7 ranked Virginia. Can you just elaborate on scheduling these ranked teams?
Yeah. Again, we have a lot of good relationships with these coaches, and we try to do home and aways. Virginia is a great opportunity for us to maybe play an indoor match, something that will not be up our alley necessarily, but I think it's, hopefully trying to prepare to get into national indoors for the first time in program history. That would be a good chance for us to play a great team in a tough environment indoors. And again, it's not putting our team in an easy position to get a win against that team, but I think in a great position to grow. And that's kind of how we're trying to do it here and try to play the best team. So each opportunity is a chance to grow and get better. And hopefully we're playing our best tennis by the time April and May comes.
How much has your facilities helped you in scheduling, drawing the marquee teams to come to your place? Because it's no secret, that facility is among the best, if not the best, in the sport in tennis. I mean, I've wondered, how much longer before maybe we see a pro event being hosted there. We've seen obviously the team tennis events being hosted there, but perhaps an ATP tour, 250 event, or WTA events there. I mean, that's got to help you too from a scheduling standpoint, drawing teams.
Yeah, 100%. You're right about that. I mean, the fact that, it also being in the state of Florida and California draws the same, right? A lot of teams want to go there for spring breaks. It's a great place to go. But on top of it, our facility, the USTA, does a good job of making teams feel comfortable. They do a couple of these college match days that draw great crowds. So yeah, that's a huge help. And, they do have some smaller level WTA and ATP tournaments now, some 15, 25 and 60Ks. And I do think down the road, there's been conversations of hopefully having some WTAs and ATPs, but it's unique because you don't only have the university fans, but you have a lot of people who just love tennis in general, who come here and practice every day, and they can just walk over and see not only us, but different teams. I think it's really unique too.
You talked a little bit earlier about the 3 players you lost, Kuznetsov, Stolmar, and Culbertson. 2 of those players were part of two of the doubles pairs that have the most wins over a career in program history. So you still obviously had Zaleva and Mattel. So how did you go about finding new doubles partners for them? And considering both of them are now ranked, how would you say that their evolution went as they learned to work together?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Stolmar and Kuznetsova were great doubles, not only great singles players, but they were great doubles players on the court. they were rock solid. I mean, they were my first two recruits, both of them. So it's kind of sad to see them go. It's crazy that it's already been like that. But it threw a little wrench in it, honestly. We had the two new players, Sophia and Noel, who we were hoping were going to come in the fall, which would have given us an extra couple of months to find out doubles pairings and stuff like that. But they came in January, and we just have to, as coaches, we have to teach it a little bit faster. We got to try to see who gels a little bit more, and I'm sure we're going to keep tweaking and keep trying to find our best chance to get 2 out of 3 doubles points, to put our team in a good position to win. And but we try to coach them in a similar way. That way everyone can play with everyone, and it's interchangeable. Obviously injuries, COVID, who knows what you're going to have, and we have to be prepared for any sort of different pairings that we might have. I think it's been a strong suit of ours in the past, our doubles, and trying to keep everyone on the same page, so we don't only have to rely on chemistry. So we're all on the same page, and we can, we can substitute some players in and out. So, but we'll see. It's going to definitely be some different challenges. Rebecca and Senya brought great experience to our team. And now we're just going to have to teach some new players and try to get our experience up as fast as we can.
Who are the leaders on this team? Or is that still evolving? And of the leaders, do they lead by example, by their play, or are they more vocal leaders? Who are some of the leaders? I know Rebecca was a big part of the leadership you had last year and the last few years as a veteran. Who are the leaders this year? Yeah,
well, obviously, Lara Zaleva and Evgenia Levashova are our 2 seniors. They're great players, right? So they're able to do so many great things on the court. They compete both really well. I think Evgenia has put in some great work to improve and had a great fall semester. Lara has been a rock for us. She's been a big key to our program and what she's been able to do in the last couple of years. For her to be in that position at number 1 and to do what she did last year was incredible. She played amazing at the beginning of this fall. So, Marie Mattel and Nandini Sharma are kind of our seniors, but they have another year of eligibility next year. Nandini is one of the greatest people you'll meet. She's super nice, and she's going to work her tail off every single day in practice and kind of lead by what she does, So I think it's a group effort. I think we have so many personalities and so many different roles, and some are, like you said, some are more vocal than others. But I think they all know that it's not really 1 or 2 people. It's the more leaders we can have on the team, the better that we're going to be, and that's kind of what we try to accomplish.
You talk about Levashova and Zaleva, both that duo and Mattel are ranked in the top 125 in the nation. But who else on this team do you think maybe that is a bit understated that could make some noise this season?
Well, obviously our 2 new freshmen are really good. I think they're going to grow. They're going to learn a lot in the first couple of months, but they are great players. They both played in some really big events as juniors. I'm really excited about their future. I'm excited about Jaleesa Leslie, who's our hometown girl, and she had an amazing freshman year last year. She was our lockdown at 5-6 last year. I think she lost 4 matches, and I think 3 out of those 4 were against top 5 opponents. So she had a tremendous year for us. I don't think she had probably, if you asked her, she probably didn't have the fall that she wanted to have, but I think she's been doing better towards the end, and I'm really excited. She has a huge game, a lot of potential to continue to grow. But she's young, and maturity takes some time and stuff like that, and she's still learning. But I'm really excited about her future because she has some great games. So honestly, we're really deep as a team, and we have a lot of talent, and we're just trying to teach them that that's not the only thing that wins. We got to stack good days on top of good days, and hopefully we get to where we want to be.
Yeah. So obviously with the seniors departure, that leaves some spots open for the singles matches. and so and Nadia by Christians and Marion and Delosier, they had some playing time last season, but they didn't really get as many matches as, say, someone like a Zaleva or a Levashova. So what kind of improvements have they made over the offseason? And could we see an increased role from them this season?
Yeah, both of them, had struggled a little bit with injuries in the past. Marion is probably going to redshirt this year. She's gone through some knee things, but she is, I will say, she is an unbelievable teammate. She's a light for us, even though she doesn't contribute too much on the court. She is the first person to work as hard as she can on the practice court. And so I think she's going to have a great opportunity to play some big matches one day. And Nadia, also same thing. Obviously, she played a big role in our doubles lineup last year with Levashova. She was a little bit unlucky. She kind of, she strained her shoulder in the first point of a match in one of the matches that we played in the middle of the season, and that held her out for a little bit. So she's had some injury stuff, but she's obviously super talented and can really help the team out in a lot of ways this year. So definitely we're excited for those two and to contribute as well.
Considering we've gone through a lot of the team, we might as well cap the set. Can you talk about how Marie Mattel has really developed over the offseason to get into the top 125 singles rankings, as well as Anik Kattenberg and her development as well?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Marie is, Marie last year was in and out a little bit of our singles lineup. I think she's someone that when she's playing well, she is as good as anyone in the country. I mean, she's had a top 20 win in the fall, beating Georgia's number 2 player. I think she's made a big jump level wise from last year. I think I've seen a different level of focus and intensity in what she brings every day. She brings great doubles. She's already a doubles All-American with Stolmar. So she brings us that experience that hopefully we can pair up with somebody for her to be successful this year. But yeah, I mean, Marie's going to be a key piece to our team this year. I think she learned a lot from last year of things that she can do better and things to prepare herself. So I'm excited for that. And, Anik, we're excited for her development. She's a hometown girl as well, local from here. And, I think she has a live arm. There's not many, in my opinion, a lot of players like her who have the explosiveness on her serve and forehand like she does. I mean, if you saw her, she's got a really live arm. It's kind of our jobs as coaches to kind of harness that a little bit and understand when she should go big and when she can play a little bit more high percentage tennis. So she's still learning that. I think she still has gears to go in it, just, her work ethic and just keep doing good days on top of good days. She's had a little bit of bad luck with a foot recently. That's put her out for a couple of weeks, unfortunately, in the beginning of this January, but I think she'll be back soon. And hopefully I think she should have a bright career as well.
We obviously, we at the Banneret, we cover a lot of sports, from football, basketball, all the UCF sports, but tennis is one of those sports, unlike something like a football or a baseball, where there's a much smaller roster size. You have 10 players. Can you just kind of talk about how that dynamic is with a roster that is a little on the smaller side than other sports?
Yeah. I think it's nice for us because it allows us to point out a lot of details in development. We have 2 coaches. Sometimes you have a volunteer coach. So it allows us to kind of really hone in on people specifically and exactly what they need to develop. But obviously there's not too many spots to play. We have 10 players. We got 6 single spots. So it makes it really competitive for our team, which I think gets them better in practice because they know they have to bring a great day every day to improve and if they want to play. But at the same time, there's injuries. COVID's a thing now. There's a lot of different things that our 7, 8, 9 players need to be ready at any moment when their number is called. Last year, or I'm sorry, the COVID year, we had Sarah Culbertson, who was was probably 8 or 9 on our roster, and we had a few injuries, and she stepped in and beat Texas A&M at number 6. And and beat Florida State at number 6, who was a top 10 team. And she was, she was able to stay ready and fill her role. So I think at any moment, you never know what players can click, how they can all of a sudden improve. You see it all the time for the ones that are really dialed in, and tennis is important to them, or improving in their sport is important to them. It happens quickly. So yeah, we have a small team, but tennis is a really unique sport because we play so many matches and not too much recovery time. So, players get dinged up and this and that. So we have to just be ready, and all of our players need to understand that at any moment they could be their chance to contribute to that team that day.
Well, that grind is about to start soon. ITA kickoff weekend is slowly coming along. UC Santa Barbara, Auburn, or Arizona State. Can you just talk about, obviously because the team has been on a break since November with the UNF, so can you talk about what you want to see from your team as the dual match season gets itself started?
Yeah, we had a meeting about that today, and I think we want to be known as a high energy team. We want to be known that if anyone is playing the Knights, that it's going to be a war that day. I think we want to be the team that we don't have any holes in our lineup, and no matter who plays us, they know that they're going to have to play a long match, a physical match to go through UCF. That's our goal, right? I mean, sometimes we're going to win, sometimes we're going to lose, but our goal is to go in there as a unit and to fight for every single point that we can. And we've been fortunate enough to do that. We've had a lot of players who have a lot of pride to play for UCF and put on their jerseys to play for us. And we hope to continue that trend. I've enjoyed to see our team get closer over these last couple of weeks when they've come here in January. And I really think they're excited to fight for each other. And if we can get that, we'll be able to hopefully overachieve again.
Couple last things. Obviously, big news in college athletics. UCF will eventually be going to the Big 12 for pretty much their sports. What was your reaction to that, and how does that affect tennis as a whole? Not just for UCF, but just tennis as a whole with all this movement going on.
Yeah, I mean, I got to get my Sky Miles in order, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be more travel, but it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to even put us even in more unique situations and playing BYU in altitude, playing Texas Tech in altitude. Those are some things that sometimes you don't think of, but playing tennis in altitude is a whole different ball game. And it's going to teach us to be in difficult situations that could help us down the road. Obviously, it's going to help us build in a little bit of a better schedule, but on top of the Big 12, we still are going to try to play the best teams from all other conferences and not shy away from having an easier out of conference schedule. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to play a lot of great opponents, but obviously now we get a built-in a little bit tougher schedule. So, hopefully, I don't think it's going to change too much for us. I think our schedule is probably as tough as anyone anyways. And so I don't think it's going to change too much, but it will be exciting to be on that stage and try to fight for rings in that conference.
And it helps too, because you both and John have scheduled a lot of Big 12 teams. It's a strong league with strong tennis programs. They're still going to be there. Does that help too? The fact that you've played them. It's not like this is a foreign thing. Obviously, BYU is unique in that situation, but you've played a lot of the Big 12 programs during your non-conference slates.
Yeah, exactly. We've typically the Big 12 didn't have as many teams as like the SEC or ACC, for example. So they did look to play some other conferences like ours. So we got to play them, but there's a couple great teams in that conference who we haven't played, like Kansas or Kansas State and, West Virginia. We haven't scheduled those. So we're excited to throw them on our schedule and kind of do a home and away with them and see some different teams for sure. But yeah, we're excited. I mean, like you said, we've played Oklahoma State, Baylor. We've had a lot of these great teams already, home and aways, but it'd be nice to continue that with them.
Right. And you've done those travels, so you're kind of familiar with what the travel might look like from that standpoint. So that's probably going to help you a lot in the future. But in the meantime, obviously you're getting set for the season. You got UC Santa Barbara on January 28th. You got the ITA kickoff weekend at home. And, you and I have talked, we're both big, I'm a tennis junkie, as you know by now. Bryson is planning on going to a lot of your home matches, but talk to the audience that haven't been to the facilities yet, what they could expect to see, that experience, that atmosphere that I've seen, that Bryson's going to attend and cover some of those. But for fans that haven't been there, tell them about that. What's it like to go to the facility, and why they need to make that a priority to go there at some point?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're trying to, we've been meeting a lot with marketing and trying to figure out different ways to make it exciting. We don't want tennis to be the old school tennis. Everyone wears white, got to be quiet in between points, right? We want a basketball atmosphere. We want a baseball atmosphere out there. So we're going to try to get a little creative on the PA and get the crowd engaged a little bit. Try to help the crowd understand, deuce points in tennis is a big thing. Winning sets in tennis is a big thing. So we want our fans to be there and feel like they can scream and yell as loud as they want and make it tough for our opponents. We're going to have some different, some different matches. We'll have some giveaways, some pizza days, hopefully a couple tailgates like what we did against our Duke match in the NCAA tournament. So we definitely want to see a lot of people come and support, and hopefully we can keep the program going in this direction.
All right. Well, I think you got Bryson hooked there. I think he's been he's been writing there, and I can tell you I'm excited for it and looking forward to the season get going again. Coach, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for taking the time. I know it's a busy time, but you always take the time to talk to us. And good luck this year, and we'll definitely talk to you during the season.
Yeah, I appreciate what you guys do. I know you guys have a lot of things to do with a lot of sports, so I appreciate the attention to detail with ours.